welcome to my channel. Today I'm in the mood for something nice and simple. So I'm going to make a blouse with an all-in-one sleeve, which is such an easy pattern. You don't have to sew a single dart or a closure or a satin sleeve. So it comes together so quickly, and it's such a nice alternative to the old t-shirt. This pattern works best in lightweight fabric, so today I'm using this green modal rayon. It has a little bit of linen into it, so it has a nice structure on it. And well, the pattern is for free as always, so let's get it. So to get this pattern, go to my website, that's dressdeveloper.de, and click on patterns. There you have the blouse poppy. Click on create pattern. And then you have two versions of this blouse. In the first version, there is no bust dart involved at all. In the second version, there is a bust dart calculated, but the fullness of the bust dart is moved into the arm, so you don't need to actually sew any bust dart. The front sleeve will become a bit bigger by this, so a little bit more drape here. But I do suggest you try this out if you have a larger bust, because when you don't have a bust dart, you might end up with the front of a blouse riding up a bit, because you cannot accommodate for the length over the bust. So I'm going with the second version here. Then I need to select the size, seam allowance, and then create pattern. And here we have the cover for the pattern with an overview of a printing layout. And here is the pattern itself, ready for printing.
All pattern pieces are cut on the fold. Front and back facing get interfaced with some fusible interfacing. Then the facings get sewn together at the shoulders. Then I switch to the serger and serge the bottom edge of the facings. You can use a zigzag stitch for this, or you can just iron the seam allowance up and sew the facing on by hand later. The shoulders and the sides of the main blouse pieces get serged too. Then I can assemble the blouse. Simply sew the shoulder seams and the side seams. The facing is placed over the neck opening and stitched down. The facing gets then trimmed back and understitched. That means that the facing is sewn to the seam allowance. This step helps to encourage the facing to roll inwards nicely and don't peek out of your finished shirt. Almost there, time for the hems. I press up the seam allowance and then another 2 centimeters, and then I stitch that down with a machine. Okay, I'm basically done now, but I do take some additional time to tack down the facing pieces with a couple of hand stitches, so it doesn't flap out. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. This part is always so hard to film. So basically I am catching only 1 or 2 threads of the outer fabric, so this seam is almost invisible from the outside. And then I'm done. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it's quite short, but as stated in the beginning, this pattern comes together so quickly you can make it in an afternoon without any problem. So if you do so, maybe you show me on Instagram? Alas, thanks for watching.